This is video number 4 in a series of videos showing you how to make these nice summary products that we do for the watersheds. And today's video is about adding all of your labels to your map. So I am going to start with my roads. And I'm going to go in here and create a new label. And this is going to be road labels. And you can find these in symbols. Open symbol library, under maps. There's this one for interstates, that one for US highways, and this one for state highways. Apparently there's Canada highways too, interesting. So that's one way to get them, but for the state highways, I've changed that to black. And also we put the text in the middle of it. So one way you can get them, they are on box, under your building blocks, common labels, road labels. That's one way to get them. Or you can just open another map and grab them from there and then change the numbers. This is also how I grab my north arrow, which I don't have yet. I just grab it from another map. It's the easiest way to keep it all the same size. And I'm going to grab this north arrow while I'm thinking about it and just throw it over here for now. Then I'm going to come in to this map and there's the road labels. They're grouped together so the text is, I guess not all of them are grouped. I'm going to group one of these US highways. And Control G to group. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to grab an interstate, and I will also grab a, so that's US highways, state highways, interstate. Control C to copy, and Control V. And I'm going to move them off the map. Make sure that we don't end up labeling something wrong. And this is where it's really nice to have two screens. But what I'm going to do is I will come in here, open up the attribute table for my roads. And then I will go select full name equals get unique, and I'll go through. So that's I-280 right there. Go back over to Illustrator. I have to look at this again. I can't actually see my roads that well. Oh yeah, let's zoom in. Maybe the wrong way. Too much. Oh yeah, part of the problem is that my roads on here are underneath my cities. Move that on top. It will help find those roads better. Ah, there we go. Alright, so just this right there. Go into Illustrator. That's this right here. So I will grab the interstate label. And I will move it over here. Oh, too much. Maybe. And I'll put it right here. I'm going to change this to 280. And obviously that's got to get moved over a little now. I think when it's Arial narrow, bold 12, I think if we got 3 numbers though, we're going to need to change this. Looks like it froze. I'm going to change this to 11. Let's get back over this way. Whoops. And there. Then I'll come back over. Control 0. And my Illustrator is being super slow right now. And I'm going to make sure that this matches. We have an arc map. Just a double click there. Alright, zoom out here. Oh, everything wants to freeze today. Alright, I've turned some layers off so we can see this a little better, and hopefully it will be a little faster. So we're double checking, make sure that's I-280 we've got selected there, and that's going to be the same as what we've got labeled right there. And then just go through and do that with all of these. Whoops, I deleted the equals here. Oh, and that equals state. Or I think there's also a state route 1, which is basically the same thing. They just are named differently in the attributes. So this whole thing, see there, I'm gonna go or full name equals state route 1. Apply. There we go. See the whole thing there. Pull up Illustrator, grab this one here, maybe. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to label it up here. Change this to 1. And scoot it over. And then go in here. Copy, Control-C, Control-V. Then I will move it down. I don't really want to label in the watershed. So, didn't get the 1. Don't think. Oh, yeah, it's there. Yeah, that's it right there. And labeled there and there. Looks good. So you'd go through and do that for all of your roads. Then next I'm going to do cities. Basically we're just going to do the same thing here. Turn my cities on, turn the roads off. Open attribute table. Select attribute name. Dolly City. Right there. Go into here. Click on text. I want it to be Arial. Narrow. And 11's good. Dolly City. And actually, especially with the cities, when there's this many, a good thing to do would be to go to labels, turn your labels on. But I'm not showing all of my cities. I turned some of them off. And then you can export this and bring it in. It's driving me crazy though that says Santa Rosa like 5,000 times. That way you'll make sure that your cities line up. That's a good option. Go back here. DALY city. I'm going to hit my white arrow. I'm going to go in here. Change this color. Ah, there it is. To 51, 51, 51. So it's a charcoal instead of a black. Put that right there. And then you can go through and do that for all of the cities. Next, if we're doing the state border, so if you have 2 states, as in this example, we have Washington and Oregon here. This is also going to be Arial Narrow, same color, but 7-point and all caps for those, but I don't have to label the state border on this. Then we are going to get into some land features that we want to mark. Well, let's see. Before that, let's go ahead and do the streams, some of these creeks. On a lot of these watersheds, I just mark the rivers. You need the original NHD flow attribute again. Go in here, equals get unique. That will, you can go through and find the rivers. This doesn't have any rivers, so I'm going to just try and grab the main creeks. And the way I'm going to go about this, I will turn imagery on. Zoom in here. You can kind of tell what your main creeks are going to be from the imagery. For example, this one is a pretty major looking one. And so I'll write this down. Well, I'll go actually and then I'll open the attribute. And name. Lemma. This one up here also. Hit apply there, and again, this is when, you know, I would be using 2 screens, and that would be really helpful. But I go through and find some other major streams, come in to Illustrator, and I'm going to write down these names, but if you got 2 screens, you can just have ArcMap and Illustrator open. In there. And this one. Okay, so I want this pen tool. I'm going to turn my roads off for right now because what you could have happen is you could end up accidentally drawing the road and changing that road. Also, you don't want to click on your network at all, or you're going to end up with lines on your network. And then click the text and click on the first part of that line. Oh, Mela. Oh, Lemma. Excuse me. Creek. Arial narrow. 11. See how that looks. I oftentimes do these white. Tend to stand out better. Yeah, that looks good. And that's how you will label your creeks. Next, we're going to look at the land features. So I'll go in here. Turn my imagery off. Oops. And I'm going to use these same two layers we've used for the National Geographic World Map and the USGS Topo. And I'm going to go through and pick out some of the major land features, and I've got some of those written down that I want. One of them is this mountain here, and this is really faint on here, but you can see that's 2,000 feet right there on the topo map. And so I picked that because I'm not going to put all these land features in, but I want to pick out some of the main ones. And if we look at the topo, everything else is maxing out a lot. There's a lot of 500s, a lot of 1000s, but that 2000 is a lot higher than anything else until we get over here. So I'm going to include the Sonoma Mountains and that other mountain we saw. Let's zoom out. We're doing Tamales, Drake's Bay, so we're gonna want Tamales Bay for sure, as well as Drake's Bay, which is right here. San Francisco Bay is over here. Hold on, let me check where that is actually. I'm going to pull that, turn my cities off. San Pablo Bay right there. So that gives us a few to go with. I'm going to exit this now, and I'm not going to save it. Okay, I brought my map back up, so we're looking, I'm going to label right now Mount Tamalpais, and I'm going to use a couple of different things to find where to put this. Mill Valley right here, it's bordering it, it's right on the edge of our watershed there. And I wrote down the name, and I'm going to look at this imagery, so it's right here. So go into Illustrator. There's Mill Valley. I can see it's got to be right about there. I'm going to come over here and grab one of these nice little mountain symbols. Right now you can see not all of those are highlighted, so I got to come in here. At least that'll help me find where it's at, and then I'll click onto all of them. Highlighted, I'm going to copy. And you can find these maps, Illustrator files on Box and grab things from them like I'm doing. And I'll go pull these there. Drag this over here. Grab this label. I'm going to move it off so it's not actually in the watershed there. And mount TAMA. Okay, and that is Arial Narrow 12. I'll leave that. I'm going to come over here and label Drake's Bay. And I am going to do all capitals for that. And actually, I'm going to don't know how I ended up getting that tool. Going to delete that. I'm going to grab this curvature tool and make a nice curve here. And then grab this and in all caps, and I'm going to put a space between all these. Extra space there. Drake's Bay. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to rotate this a little bit. So it's nice and in the bay right there. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Move it down a little bit. Maybe. There. So I will finish labeling these and then I will show you what the final product looks like and what type of labeling we'll do for each of these different land features after I'm done, for time's sake here. Okay, so I finished labeling my features here. We got my bays, those are all the same as Drake's Bay. Point rays here, that's centered and is the same as the mountain here as far as the color. So what you can do if it's different is you can click on that, except that, change the paragraph, and we can just go center there. The islands here have the same type of label as the cities. And then the mountains are the same curvature and spread out like the bays, but it's the same color as the cities there. And that, I mean, obviously I still have some labels. I gotta finish the cities, the roads, but that should cover what you need to know for labeling. So that's all for this one. So I'm doing a little add-on to our labels video here because some of the labeling has changed. So I'm just going to quickly go over each of the different types of labels. So our creeks and rivers are Arial, narrow 10, and white. Cities are Arial, narrow 11, and they're kind of a charcoal color. 51's here, or you can type in the number 333, so 6 3s there altogether for those. Your mountain ranges are the same color, that charcoal color. Also Arial, narrow 11, but those are caps, and with a space between each letter. Also, something that might be helpful is if it is not in uppercase, you can go to the type, your character here actually. So what I would do, and here's all caps, all small caps, subscript, superscript, strike through, underline. So you got all those. If you want to change your caps, the bays are also all caps with a space between, but they are black and they are smaller, Arial, narrow 8. Again, there's a space between, and then if there's 2 words, you're going to have 2 spaces between. Your mountains, I would actually end the points. That's Arial, narrow, black. I think we're going to change the protocol. This says 12, but it should be 10 is what we will go with for that. And then if you have a state border, the labels of the state on each side of the border will be Arial, narrow 8-point font, and that will be black. So that should cover all of the changes we made to the labels.